Oy vey, my fellow Goyim. And folks, I have a confession to make. I don't actually know what any of those words mean. I learned everything I know about Jews from watching a children's cartoon called Drawn Together.
Plus, I missed my daily sidebird trimming appointment.
A Jew in our backyard! I can't believe my Jew crow didn't work!
And I think that show was made by two Jewish people, so I think it was, peer-reviewed and everything was right, but maybe that's not the case. Because whenever I talk about Jews online, I get a lot of comments saying, you need to educate yourself. So, Aggie, I think that's what we're here to do today, is educate ourselves.
That's right. There's nothing I love more than education, folks. And I think my first instance with the Israeli culture was owning the Family Guy box set when it was currently canceled off there in 1999. It had an episode that was not re-airing called Wish Upon a Weinstein, I think it was. Great episode, by the way.
That was banned? Why would they ban that? Was it just for the copyright of the parody song?
It's hard to say.
Because I remember seeing that as a kid. I don't know if it was all that more offensive than anything on Drawn Together.
That ought to keep Mort away.
Peter, what the hell is that?
Lois, I'm tired of Mort always mooching off us, so I made a scared Jew.
I can't believe my Jew crow didn't work!
Hey, guess what, motherfuckers? I looked it up. Drawn Together did it first, and Drawn Together did it better. Fuck Family Guy! Drawn Together gang for life! Well, speaking of being perhaps economically minded, this is another $100 couch video that somebody paid and requested. And we're watching a movie from 1934, is that right, Aggie? Called House of the Rothschild. And what's the backstory? I don't know the whole the Wikipedia on it.
Neither do I.
What is the early life of the filmmakers?
I had one caption attached to mention here that the film was released 1 year after an up-and-coming politician named Adolf was making some waves in the beer halls.
Do we think he might have seen this film and it inspired him one way or the other? And maybe it'll inspire us one way or the other. From what I understand, this is not like anti-Jewish propaganda. This is a movie made by Jews to show people why they shouldn't be anti-Semitic, I think is the idea. We both provided us with some delicious Jewish cuisine to enjoy before and while we watch the movie, so let's actually dive into this real quick. I got us some delicious, cheap Walmart hummus of the jalapeno honey variety, and some non-bites. What'd you get, Aggie? Something
jalapeno,
equally...
I don't know if my doctor wants me having all that spice, but either way.
Looks like you brought something equally delicious.
That's right. First off, we got this gefilte fish straight from Yehuda. Contains no egg yolk and no MSG, and it says imported from Israel, so I actually financially supported Israel with both my sales tax and with my purchase. It's about time that they get some money. And then we also have Manishutz, kosher for Passover or anytime, simmering since 1888, matzah ball soup.
Jewish snack testers. We did the Muslim episode. It's only fair.
Let's get a hint. See, I don't know this gefilte fish. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if that's even what a real fish is called, but let's smell it here. Whoa, wow, that smells pretty good, actually. It smells like chicken noodle fish.
Sure, yeah.
Just like in Israel's favorite country, India, they eat with their hands, so is it time to go in?
Yeah, I got a plate for you.
Whatever it takes. Just like, this is the Jewish determinist spirit right here. Whatever it takes to get this gooey meatball out on the table. All right.
That's what it looks like.
We have it plated up so nicely. Maybe
can't even really hold it up to the camera because the plate's a soup.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be... Well, I think I can see it. It basically looks like some kind of chicken meatball.
If that gets spilled on my rug, I'm going to commit suicide.
So just
to be clear.
Before I go in, I do have the ingredients here. So this is fish. It's carp and silver carp.
Ew.
It's like a fishy meatball that smells like chicken noodle soup. I'm actually going to eat it over this bowl. All right, folks. Gefilte fish. Oi, going in for the Passover season. That's a good fishy meatball, if I do say so myself. It's like a fishy meatball that was soaking in chicken broth. Is there chicken broth in this? I don't think so. I think it's all fish.
I think my anti-Semitism it's just making me sick because there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but everything about the texture and the flavor and knowing what it is and what it looks like makes me sick, and I don't want to take another bite. If you put it on the wheel, you'll probably beat me in that round.
Listen, folks. After I watched this video that came out the other day called Content Cop H3, I've never loved Israel more in my life. So I think I'm going to take a big old swig right from the matzo jar. If there's none of my Zionist brothers having any argumentation to that.
If I could pour this back into this jar, then sure.
Hey, listen, you know what? It's all love around here. All right, let's get a big old swig of that good matzo juice. It's going to get me where I need to be.
Lots of matzah.
You know, I said that tasted like chicken noodle soup broth in the gefilte fish. This tastes like Great Value brand chicken store broth. Noticeably less flavorful.
The bottom's up.
Hey, listen, you know what? I'm sure that there's some loophole in our newfound religion that can make us get away with anything we want. Let's see what it tastes like.
Yeah, it's kind of just weird chicken noodle.
It just tastes like bread mushed up into a ball.
Yeah.
It's not very dumpling style like what I usually like.
Do we think the Muslims had better food? Because that goat in the microwave, I still remember that to this day. Microwaved goat, why not? I did not think microwaved goat meat would be edible. This is not nearly as bad as it should be.
Yeah, you know, microwave goat, you're in a pinch. This is good bachelor food right here, I'm telling you.
It's perfect bachelor food. Goat in the microwave.
But I'm serious though. You know, I think I got to give it up to the shawarma. I think they have a lot of crossover in their food, but not in their states because that's not what they like.
Do you think this is the oldest movie we've ever watched together, Aggie? Is this older than all of the Three Stooges?
Did we not watch a film that came out in the 1910s, as I recall?
Was it a real movie or was it the Four Fabulous Heads?
Well, we've probably watched a Stooge movie, or a Stooge picture that's older than this. Anyways, I was referring to Birth of a Nation. I think we don't...
I didn't watch that.
Oh, we didn't?
I've never seen that.
Oh, no, we watched Triumph of the Will.
Yeah, that's a little after
Okay.
this one, I think. Or maybe around the same time, actually. That'd be a good companion piece.
If we didn't watch Birth of a Nation together, then I don't think I've watched Birth of a Nation, so...
It's a 3-hour silent film, Aggie. Who's gonna fucking watch that?
There's no subtitles, but oh, never mind.
All Jews must be inside the Jew street by sundown. So 1780s, Jews had it rough, time and time again. Why does this keep happening to them? Maybe we'll find out.
But if anything should happen, all that money, 10,000 gold.
So this is not an anti-Semitic movie. Like, that guy looks like that on purpose? Because that's what he actually looked like?
Small sums, 10,000.
No.
They thought it was authentic.
I don't want to be that guy, but all of his dialogue is all about money while he's rubbing his hands so far. I'm just saying.
When Hitler was making his propaganda, where do you think he got the caricature from? It's just this movie.
I could see in his eyes how pleased he was that he got the better of this little baby.
Sold it under cost?
A spat to catch a mackerel, Mama. He thinks he's so clever, and I'm so stupid. Always make them think they're clever.
So I think this initial exchange proves that Jews are the good people. He just saw that this non-Jewish man was very greedy, and he tricked him.
Well, the propaganda they're trying to fight against is that Jews are stupid, and he's saying, no, we let you think we're stupid, but we're actually smarter than you think. And that was supposed to convince the public, oh, Jews are smart, just like the rest of us. Maybe it gave people the wrong impression somehow.
Mama, the tax collector. Papa, tax.
My cousin's here? He's coming to visit.
This is me committing tax fraud this last week by saying if they didn't give me a W-2, I'm not reporting it. It is what it is. I'm basically the new Rothschild, and I feel good about that.
All that taxes was going to these people anyway.
Never have I known such a bad man.
No.
For 5 days, not one garden have I seen. Customers come, yes, but they don't buy.
No.
And no one's traveling these days, so my exchange business is worse than nothing. I shall soon starve. Starve, eh? Huh.
Some people might think that the Rothschilds not declaring their income to not pay taxes is a villainous thing. Frankly, an absolute hero in my eyes.
Oh, you think he's lying right now?
Upstairs. Search the house. Pull the beds apart.
Is this where Hitler learned how to be a Nazi?
I might perhaps raise $2,000.
This is fucking searching for Jew. This is every Nazi movie ever made. And this is from 1934. The fuck?
Well, and I hate to be that guy because I know YouTube doesn't care too much for it. All I'm saying is that in the last couple of years, I've heard about some people hiding in some tunnels. People hiding in attics. They're hiding in the basement, 1700s. I don't know. Maybe it's just...
And they don't have any mattress cleaners down there is the problem. So filthy to sleep in that tunnel on your bloody mattress. And the mattress is so small, like it was built for a child to lay on rather than an adult. And I can't even fucking get comfortable down in those tunnels.
These poor men, they're sleeping on child-sized bloody mattresses, and yet we have the gall to be so judgmental. Yeah. Frankly, I say we need to give them a lot more money.
We should give them bigger mattresses for their tunnels.
Copying these mannerisms for the next time I get audited.
Practicing for a play I'm going to be in. It's called Schindler's List.
How can I pay $5,000 in back taxes when I haven't had $5,000 in income this whole year, but somehow paid my bills every single month? By the way, but either way, I don't know where that.
If the villain is literally the tax man, I have to be on the Jew side. I mean, the problem is that some people took over the tax man's job in the future from this movie, and I'm just saying the tax man's always the villain. That's why I dislike certain people today. If we all hated the tax man, unity and peace.
Do you think I want to do that? I live honestly. I trade honestly. I want to be honest with them, but they won't let us. We are Jews, taxed to death, forbidden to learn a trade, forbidden to own land. They keep us in chains.
That's why they're all money traders. They're forbidden from learning a real job. I think I'm on their side. They're making a lot of sense. Ethan Klein, you're right.
I had to make reaction videos. I had to open a podcast studio.
Look at me. Do I look like I can do anything meaningful? I gotta be like winking and blinking. My wife shot 3 Muslim children, but that's okay.
Listen, all I could do was just join the IDF and start shooting those hospitals. I mean, what am I supposed to do? What else can I do? I have to defend my homeland. We've been working for 5,000 years to own this land.
Those Muslim children could have grown up to be terrorists. I have to stop them now.
One of them grew up and his name is Hassan, and now he's making this podcast. He's making these live streams where I'm getting BTFO. I need to stop it, dude.
People say they would go back and kill baby Hitler. Well, guess what? Gaza Strip is full of baby Hitlers. We're doing...
Much money is lost through sending...
I do remember seeing this scene out of context.
I think this got posted on 4chan like 17 years ago, like major red pill from movie or something like that.
What's he saying?
5 brothers. I want you each to start a banking business in a different country. One to go...
Yeah, I've seen this.
Paris, one in Vienna, one in London.
32 years later, the 5 sons of Rothschild had established their banking houses in the 5 capitals of Europe. And in the same year, the Grand Army of Napoleon overran Europe and threatened the peace of the world. Is there a lesson to be learned here that Europe borrowing from the banks at interest in order to wage war within themselves was maybe a bad idea?
But I'm not too tired to realize that if the public...
Are his eyes looking in opposite directions?
Oh my goodness, original reptilian?
What is happening? Is the rest of the movie just fucking saying numbers and loans and bonds and shit? Oh my god.
Maybe you need another matzo ball to get you in the spirit.
No.
I think we've had 5 minutes of just talking about interest rates.
This is how evil wins, by being so boring nobody can even fucking pay attention to all the shit they're doing.
It's true though, yeah.
The banality of evil. Aggie, look out! I think a Rothschild is trying to get you!
Hey, listen, I was told that if I go to war and come back after 100 days alive, that, you know, this scorch is promised to me.
He likes the movie. It's good to see his family. Here's homeboy Lizard watching the movie. You like the movie, Liz?
I'll still be the richest man in the world.
He's entranced by seeing so many heroes on a screen at once.
I'm clapping because it's over.
So we have a celebratory Israeli peanut puff.
Go for it.
Since I got Puff right here, except the better version.
If Puff was alive.
That's right. Well, it tastes like real peanut butter. It's very fatty.
It tastes like Captain Crunch cereal. That's really good.
This is what Amschel Rothschild looked like when they tried to get over on him. And thankfully, it was a happy ending. The good guys won.
Well, folks, here's the scoop. We just finished watching the Jewish movie, and I only spent about 50% of the runtime pondering various suicide methods, so it was less boring than the Neighbors movie from last time at the very least, but wowee. I mean, I had to pull the lizard out of the tank to play with because I was that fucking bored. But also, we were very educated, Aggie, so should we dive into what some historical and religious lessons we may have learned?
Yeah, I have to say, the Jewish component was very woven into the film. However, it came to be much more a film about stocks and finances and markets, something that I am a little more keen on, so I was not quite as dreadfully bored.
That was the absolute worst part.
Well, I would say probably as far as interesting things go, we had the anti-Jewish riot portion, which was maybe about 2 minutes. We had some B-roll of like horses charging into battle, a little bit of music.
Let's get into some life lessons, though, because I've always been confused about the concept of the Jewish race. Because who's calling it a race? Is it a Nazi propaganda racist thing to say that it's a race? Because really, it's just a religion. Hypothetically, I could become Jewish right this second. I believe by putting on that hat, Aggie officially is Jewish. So how could it be a race if it's just a belief system? And in this movie, the characters repeatedly say, the Jewish characters in this Jewish written and directed movie keep saying, "Oh, they, brother, we are part of the Jewish race, and you cannot date the Gentile." There's a whole plot about no interracial relationships. We're the Jewish race. How dare you date a white man? It's wrong. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Aren't we all?
Are we all human beings? Well, I think it was back at the time, going all the way back to, Khazaria or what's Sephardia or whatever. They definitely had, their origins in certain places, and they would just get kicked out over and over again.
But I'm talking about specifically this racial question, because in the modern day, I don't think the Jews consider themselves a distinct race of people.
If you're Jewish and you do a 23andMe, they're bankrupt now, but if you get one of these DNA tests, it comes up with Jewish as a race on the DNA test. So, if you're, let's say, from Nigeria, and you got it, and it says, you're 100% Nigerian or whatever in your DNA test, if you have Jewish DNA, it's going to say and if you have a certain amount of Jewish DNA on a DNA test, then you get a free birthright trip to Israel, and you get, a toured trip through Israel from these, rabbinic scholars or whatever. So, based on this Hollywood motion picture, and as my only source of credibility, I do have to say that Jewish people are a unique racial composition compared to the rest of us.
It just makes you wonder how a belief system mutates over time and generations into being a distinct race with its own physical features.
Well, I think it was more of I think the racial...
The answer is incest, Aggie.
Well,
that's the only answer.
That is
true. It's the only possible answer. Which is why I think it's racist to say, and personally, I don't think Jewish is a race. This movie thinks it is. Hitler thought it was. ChatGPT says actually it's a controversial thing to say. So, any other life lessons from the film?
Well, listen, as we saw by watching this movie, there's always conspiracy theories about market manipulation. At the end of the day, there was all these war. Everybody wanted to go to war. There was, I need to go to war with this other country right next to me right now. I wish I had millions of dollars so I could go to war because I just want to be in war all the time. And then a nice, honest money lender, he said, listen, you know what? I'm risking everything right here, but you've been treating my people so badly for no reason. that maybe just after hundreds and maybe thousands of years of unfair persecution, if you want to have your wars that you're so fond of, and I put a little bit of money towards you, risking everything I have to help you fund your war that you want, not me, then maybe that could be some sort of agreement that we could get along a little bit better. And they signed some papers. These markets are going up and down, but I mean, really, it was just the war provocateurs just being so...
You can't get a grip on this shirt. But really, it's a rags to riches stories of how somebody from a lineage that has been discriminated against by every country in history and was born in a Jewish ghetto on Jewish Ghetto Street in Prussia. The story of how a young man in that situation goes on to be the richest man on earth, and exactly how you do that, and how he uses the discrimination against his people to his advantage, and maybe a few other things to his advantage as well, to manipulate the markets. The whole scheme of, you have the elderly Jewish man in bed with his 5 sons and says, hey, each one of you go start a different bank in different parts of the world, and then only do deals if all 5 of you collab and agree on it. So then basically they can stranglehold all of Europe if they have all this money. Did they skip a few scenes in the story, Aggie? How'd they go from we live on Ghetto Street with no money to now we have 5 huge banks around the world?
Well, they started off just a simple bank like anybody else. They said, here, I got a shoebox, I'll keep your money in. And, they started off small. Once people knew that they were trustworthy and good people, then and I believe there was these laws they kind of allude to where Jewish people cannot do anything but be bankers. It was like they were forced into it. So they made the best of that. They figured out the best system to how to make that work for them. They just so happen
to only be allowed to do the only job that could possibly make you the richest man on earth. So is the idea every other group of people was that stupid that God, Jews, will screw them over. You can't be a builder. You can't be a welder. All you can do is handle money. Good luck being successful now. Is that what we're supposed to believe is the truth?
I think they also, they didn't let them vote, didn't let them own land.
That makes sense.
Different things like that. So I think that was spoken on in the film, like, hey, you know what, you want your wars so bad, we're gonna put up all of our money, but, you also have to give us all these rights, like the ability to own land and to be an equal citizen. And that's the only way that we'll put up your money for this war. So I said, all right, sounds good.
Really, it's a life lesson for the persecutors out there. Those who persecute smaller ethnic groups of whatever variety, make them the physical laborers. Make them the slaves. If you say, hey, you have permission to do any stocks and bonds and deals and trades you want, you're setting yourself up for failure and for them to get revenge by becoming the richest man on earth and saying, hey, Napoleon, who we just funded the war to defeat, he's back in power and he offered us a better deal. We are war profiteers at heart. Banking is really our side gig. And there's a big war in Europe. We'll go with whatever side offers us more money. We don't actually care about what's being fought for, who's on the side of right. It doesn't matter. From everybody's perspective, they're in the right. And from their perspective in the movie, right is money. Whoever gives us the most money is right. And these are the life lessons. That's why you make them your slaves if you want to persecute somebody. I'm just saying, history.
I believe also, if I'm not mistaken, originally, like back when the concept of like physical money was going around versus just like trading cows or whatever they did back in the day, I think that handling money was seen as like impure. It was seen as like frowned upon, like, oh, you're like it was like a sinful thing to be a money handler. So since they didn't like Jews, they made them do it.
Now, how far back are we going?
Probably 2,000 years or something. Actually, probably 3,000 years.
Yeah, because 2,000 years ago, the people writing the books like the Torah, is that a good scam? Only Jews can touch money because it's bad. Oh no. Give the Jews all the money, it's bad to touch it. Really? Another fucking scam? Like, I don't believe any of this shit at all. But whatever.
All I'm saying, this film showed us that, you know what, if you put your mind to something, all you gotta say dedicated, and you can be the richest man in the world. I found it inspiring, heartwarming, and really I just couldn't help but see these people as complete heroes.
I'd say the most inspirational thing, like, it motivated me because I struggled so hard to stay awake. And the fact that I made it all the way through without nodding off is like a personal milestone for me. So I proved my perseverance and my hard work. It's still in me. Even up, I'm turning 30 soon. I thought I'd be an old man, geriatric, falling asleep at boring Jewish movies, but no, I made it through. My lizard helped me out. Any other thoughts on this $100 couch video extravaganza, Aggie?
Well, I liked these Jewish fish meatballs. They tasted better than I thought they would. The movie was largely below average in my opinion, but I took particular interest in the financial discussions because I've been doing a lot of financial research myself lately as a bit of a hobby, a little bit of a side thing. So that spoke to me more now than maybe it would have in the past. And I also like this. I'll say this much. I think every Jewish culture movie after World War II just kind of gets pigeonholed to be World War II centric.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that this had a fresh angle to it, even if it didn't necessarily make it a better movie. At least it was a new perspective, some new information that you just wouldn't really be able to get these days without having it trend a certain way. I felt like it had a better objectivity than it would have been able to in the near future after its production and publishing.
The movie convinced me that Israel does have a right to defend itself. I mean, these poor people had to live in ghettos for centuries.
Lived on Jew Street.
Lived on Jewish ghetto street.
That's what they called my street when I moved in.
It's about time we gave them their own country. Who cares who used to live in that area? Who cares who lives next door? The Jews deserve it all. And we saw a guy with eyes very similar to Scorch in the movie. Hey, Aggie, what can people do if they want to recommend our next video?
Well, what they can do is send your idea to simianjimmybusiness@gmail.com. And if it sounds like it is a functional thing, you'll get the approval, and then you can send the currency, and we will respond with urgency.
Peace, people. I thought I was going to need a nap after that one.